Sunday morning yoga. You guys are going to start down on your back. So come there when you're ready. All right, everyone, you can hear still getting settled. Get settled. Lay on your back as soon as you're there. Right? Then you can start to focus on your breath. Step out of the way. You have to control your breath at first, right? Just start to notice it. Start to observe it. Let it take over. Let it push all the other distractions to the background so that we can be here, fully focused on our mat, our practice. We can be fully present to our mat, our practice. Once you feel like you've got that full focus on your breath, add that element of control to your breath. Just start to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Let your breaths become longer, slower, and deeper. As you inhale, pulling that breath all the way down into your belly. As you exhale, pushing it all the way out. And that way we really can start to move just with one breath, one movement. When you're ready to start moving here, we're just going to start out with a couple TBEs. That means total body extension. And so you're laying down on your mat. Extend your legs all the way along. Take your arms up overhead. Point your toes like that into the pencil. Reach your fingertips towards the back of the room. Take this first breath here. Just let everything open up. And then from there, you're going to take your knees, hug them all the way in to your chest. If you want to make this more, you can lift your head and shoulders, drive your forehead towards your knees, let your tailbone lift. You don't have to. You can keep everything. You can keep your tailbone and your head and shoulders down if you want to. And then from there, you're going to open back up. Now you can come back to that stretch like we did before, letting your heels and your back of your hands hit the mat, right? Or you can hover your heels, hover the back of your hands. Make it more of a core strengthener. Right? We're going to do that a couple more times. So you're going to inhale, hug your knees in. Exhale, extend everything long. Do it a couple more times. Inhale, hug it all in. Exhale, open it up. Do it one more time. Inhale, hug it all in. Exhale, open it up. Now, this time, let your hands come out to the sides. So your hands are out long, like weights, this T position. You're going to bend into your knees. So your feet come to the mat. Totally your feet out wide to the edges of your mat, right? So your pinky toes are lined up with the edges of your mat. We're just going to take a little twist here. Let both knees fall to the right while you keep that left shoulder anchored while you look over your left ankle. Hey, look over your left ankle. Look over your left shoulder. So your knees are falling to the right. You're looking to the left, keeping that left shoulder anchored. Right, it's opening up the quads a little bit, opening up those hip flexors. Wide twist. Two more breaths here. And then from there, pull your knees back to center. And as you exhale, let your knees drop over to the left. Take the chin and your gaze to the right, anchoring that right shoulder, just holding here for a few breaths. Pull it all back up to center. Now we're going to hug the knees into the chest and just rock yourself up to a seated position. Bring it around in a tabletop here. So bring your shoulders over your wrists. Get your hips over your knees. Now what we're going to do here, right, it's a variation on cat-cow. Right? So you want those knees hip width distance apart, hand shoulder width distance apart. As you inhale, lift your chin up to the sky. Tuck your tailbone under. Let your belly drop. As you exhale, you're going to start to come into your regular cat, right? You're tucking your chin, you're rounding your back. But then just let yourself push all the way back. Bring your hips toward your heels. Don't move your hands, right? If you can't get your hips all the way down to face, you're in this kind of modified child's pose. And then as you inhale, you're going to bend your elbows, kind of pulling on the floor to pull yourself forward. Come right back into cow. So as you come all the way up, your chin's going up, your belly's dropping, right? As you exhale, you tuck your chin, you start to round up, push your hips back. Right? Your hands stay there, your hands are driving the motion. So you're pushing your palms into the floor as you go back, pulling them towards you as you come up to cow. Right? So just do that a couple more times. Exhale, tuck your chin, come to your child pose, inhale, pull into your palms, come to your cow. Right? Just find your own rhythm here, just like if we were doing a normal cat-cow. Do 3 more rounds. Last one. And then let yourself come all the way down to your child's pose one more time. And then bring it up just into your regular neutral tabletop. This time as we get to our neutral tabletop, now we're going to tuck the toes under. Lift the hips up and back and come in to that first down dog of the morning. So your fingers are spread wide like starfish at that pointer finger at the front of the mat. Let your belly go towards your upper thighs. Let your head hang heavy and long. Shake your head yes and no. Increases the back of your neck. All right, now, bend your knees. Look between your thumbs. Bring your feet forward, your hands. Come into your forward fold. Get your belly to touch your upper thighs. Shake your head yes and no. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your belly to your thighs. Make sure those are creases in the back of your neck. You don't have to be straight-legged here. You just be letting that head go, hanging like a ragdoll. Now from here, we're going to start just with some twists. Right? So just bring your left hand right to the front of your mat, right in between your toes, your big toes, right? And take your right hand up to the sky. Twist to the right. Even push that right leg straight, put a little bend in your left knee. And then drop that right hand down. Take your left hand up to the sky. Now, take that left hand up. We're going to inhale here, take a half lift monkey. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. Get the crown of your head towards the top of your mat. As you exhale, fold back down, belly to thighs. This time as you inhale, your reverse swan dive, come all the way up to standing. All right, I'm going to come back here so you can see me a little bit better. All right, so we're going to take our little swimmers here, right? Some of you remember how those go. If not, it's okay. We're going to talk through it. You're going to start by coming into another twist. You're going to take your right hand, sweep it back behind you, take your left hand, bring it in front of you. So you're in that open arm twist. Then you drop that right hand down to your right thigh or to your left thigh, right? Take that left hand up and over. You're reaching your left fingertips over your right shoulders. Now you're spiraling to the right. It's also kind of a side bend. Now, you take a swim. We swim our arms all the way around. So that left hand comes behind you and that right hand goes in front. You're going to open arm twist to the left. And then you drop your left hand. Maybe to your left thigh, maybe to your right thigh. Maybe just wrap it behind your back. Sweep that right hand up and over so your right fingertips are reaching over your left shoulder. You're looking over your left shoulder, chest is spiraling to the left. We're going to take another swim here, right? You add an extra stroke this time so that both arms end up overhead. Right? Press your palms together, and then as you exhale, push your hips forward, take your chest and your gaze up. You're taking a back bend, inhale, come up tall, exhale, swan dive it all the way back down, in forward fold, belly to thighs, crown of the head to the mat. Okay? So that's our basic sun salutation today, right? We're going to get really twisty, because we're going to do a lot of twisting today, so we start to warm the body up, get the spine ready. So We're going to start with those twists from forward fold. Plant your left hand in the center of the mat, take your right hand up to the sky, twist to the right. Exhale, take that right hand down, plant it, take your left hand up to the sky. Let that left hand come down, come back to forward fold. Inhale, take your half lift monkey, shoulders even with the hips. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhale, take your open arm twist to the right. Sweep your right hand back, left hand forward. Drop your right hand, sweep that left hand up and over to your spiral. And then we swim it around toward an open arm twist on the left. Left hand back, right hand forward. Drop your right hand, sweep your left. Drop your left hand, sweep your right hand up and over, spiral to the left. And then swim again, add that extra stroke so both arms are overhead. Press your palms together, exhale into your back bend. Inhale, come up tall. Exhale, swan dive it back down, forward fold. All right, let's do that one more time. We'll start with the twist and forward fold. Plant your left hand, take your right hand up to the sky. Let that right hand come down. Take your left hand up to the sky. Let that left hand come down. Inhale, half of monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, over swan dive, come all the way up. Exhale, sweep your right hand back, take your left hand forward. Drop your right hand, sweep that left hand up and over. Swim it around to your open arm twist on the left. Drop the left hand, reach the right hand up and over. Swim it around to both arms are up overhead. Press your palms together. Exhale into your back bend. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, swan dive it back down. Forward fold. All right. Now, take another half lift monkey here. Just kind of reset your back. I'm going to turn sideways here so you guys can see what we're doing at first. All right. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot back behind you. So come into that runner's lunge. Okay. Now, you're going to bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Now, you can drop down to your left knee for this first part if you want to, or you can keep your left knee up. It's up to you, right? Here's what we're going to do. You're going to shift back. Keep your palms just planted where they are. Push into your right foot. Let your right leg straighten and let your shoulders go back behind your wrists. You're just kind of opening up, and then you're going to come forward, bringing forward to your knees over your ankle again. And just do that 3 or 4 times, all right? I'm doing my knee right now. You can stay up on your toes and do it. It would look like this. Couple more times here. And then eventually we're going to meet back in our runner's lunge. Move that right hand down to the outside of your right foot. Everybody's going to drop that right heel to the mat. And you're going to inhale, rise up. Into warrior one. So you're just pulling your body up. Let your hips square towards the top of your mat. Take your hands up to the sky. Reach, 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 reach in. Now, bend into your elbows. Touch your fingertips behind your neck. So you're still in warrior one, right? So got that deep bend in the right knee. Still angle your hips towards the front of the room, right? Start to lean back here with your upper body there. Really open those elbows. Take your gaze up to the ceiling. Now as you exhale, you're going to bow forward. Start to bring your elbows together. Maybe you can bow forward the elbows squeeze on either side of your knee. If you don't get down that low, it's okay. And then inhale, open back up. Really open your elbows wide, lean back. Do that twice more. Exhale, come down, bring your elbows together toward your knee. Open back up, right? Try to keep that lower body still. It's just your upper body moving. Do it one more time. Take your back bend, and then come forward. And then open back up. Now this time as we open up, you're going to take your hands up to the sky. Bring your palms together here. Push your right leg all the way straight. Keep your feet where they are. Bend into your left knee. Bring your left elbow towards your left knee. So you're taking that Skandasana towards the back. Maybe you want to take it nice and low. Let those right toes slip up off the mat. Drop your hands to the mat or keep your hands at heart center. Right? Now, if you're staying low, if you're staying high, that's okay. We're going to twist here. Your left hand is going to stay on the ground. Right? Or if you're up high, keep your left hand just on your left knee. Take your right hand up to the sky. Right? So this is me doing it low. If I was high and I was here, I'd just be here. All right, now from here, you're going to let your hands come down to the mat from wherever they are. Push that left leg straight. Then back into your right knee. You're going to walk it around back into runner's lunge. So look up towards the front of the room. You're going to plant your left hand on the inside of your right foot. Take your right hand up to the sky. Now we do a twisted lunge. Just basic twisted lunge towards the right side of the room. Shoulders stacked, chest open to the right. Now drop that right hand down. heeling under the chair. I'm gonna face forward here so you guys can see. All right, so you can have your hands reaching forward. You can have your hands at heart center. You can have your hands up to the sky for now, right? We're gonna move in a second, but right now, just check it out. Look down, make sure you can see your toes. Wiggle your toes, weights all back in your heels. Hips are far enough back that your knees aren't covering your toes. Now, just like we did before, open up your arms. Bring your fingertips to the back of your neck. All right, try to stay in that chair position. Keep your chest lifted. Now, we're not back bending here, right? Because we couldn't, we'd have to straighten our legs. You're just opening your arms as wide as you can. But just like we did when we were in Warrior One, as you exhale, come forward. Maybe you can touch your elbows. Same elbow, same knee, right? Inhale, lift your chest, keep your legs in chair position. Open those elbows up wide. Do that twice more. Bring the elbows in, touch them to your knees. Come back up. One more time. Elbows come in, they touch your knees as you lean forward, and then you open it all the way back up. All right, so now from here, right, you're in your chair. Release your hands, take them up to the sky. Right, you're just going to take a big step back with your left foot here. Your right knee's going to bend. As you do that, right, you're going to take your left hand down to your left side, and your right hand's going to come up to the sky. So we basically came to reverse warrior. So you've got that deep bend in your right knee. Sending your right knee towards the pinky toe, left foot. Switch your feet in the middle. There we go. That's it. Now put that deep bend in your right knee. Reach back. Now from here, we're going to come around. Your left hand's going to come up. Palms come together. Turn your torso toward the front of the room. And then you're going to twist to the right. You're going to bring that left elbow over the right knee. Towards the right knee, I should say. Not over. Maybe you're getting over the right knee. Maybe you're just near it. All right, so you're taking that prayer twist, lunge, towards the right side of the room. That's all good. Now, you're going to untwist here. Straighten out your right leg as you untwist, but don't move your feet. Let your hips turn towards the long left edge of your mat. Take your hands up to the sky. Grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand and pull back into Sky Archer. Release your hands here. Bend into your right knee. Just take your arms long. Now you're just right. And your Warrior Two. From Warrior Two, right, deep bend in the right knee. Right knee going towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Look right over the middle finger on your right hand. Get it all set up. Nice, powerful warrior. Keep your legs where they are. Drop your hands down behind you and release them behind your back. Pull your shoulder blades together. Push your knuckles towards the floor. Lean back here. Take a deep inhale. Lean back as you exhale. And then inhale, come up. Now exhale. Bow all the way forward. Bring your right shoulder towards the inside of your right knee. Hands start to lift up and off your low back. And letting your head go so you look at your left toes. Right, if you can get that right shoulder all the way inside your right knee, then do it. If it doesn't get inside your right knee, just hover it above your right knee. You don't want to rest it on your right knee. And we're just going to release our hands here, take them back down to the mat. Look towards the front of the room. Let your left toes turn towards the front of the room if they're not already. And then step your left foot forward, meet your right. Come back to your forward fold. All right, so we're going to do all that again, going the other way. All right, so you're down in a forward fold. Trying to make myself be on camera here. Now you're going to keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot way back behind you. Come to your runner's lunge on this side. All right, so looking up. There we go. Now, you can drop down to your right knee here, or you can keep your right knee up to you. Bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. All right, and then from there, we're going to take those pushbacks, right? So your shoulders travel behind your wrists. Your left leg straightens, but your left foot stays on the floor. Like that. And then you come back to your runner's lunge. Shoulders over the wrists, left knee over the left ankle. So just go back and forth a few times. And again, this is me doing it on my knee. If I was up off my right toes, it would just look like this. Whatever feels better to you. Do it 3 or 4 more times. And then eventually, we're going to meet back in that runner's lunge. Take your left hand now outside your left knee. You're down on that right knee. Come up off your right knee and then dial your right heel down. So your right toes point towards the right edge of your mat. As you inhale here, you're going to peel up into your Warrior One. So with those hips square towards the front of the room, I just adjusted with my back foot so that I could get there. Get to where my hips are square. Got that deep bend in my left knee. Left knee stays over the left ankle. Now you're going to drop your hands here. Their fingertips are going to come behind your neck. All right, so you're opening your arms up. lean back a little bit here first, right? So it is a little back bend when we're here in the warrior position. Then we're gonna come forward, you're bringing your elbows together. Maybe you can touch them to either side of your left knee. If you don't get down that low, it's okay. Open it all back up, start to lean back. Do that twice more. Come forward, elbows to knee, rise up, lean back. One more time, bow it forward, and then open it up and lean back. Now this time, you're gonna take your hands up to the sky, back into your regular warrior one. Bring your palms together, push your left leg straight. Keep your toes where they are, right? So your left toes are still pointed to the top of your mat, right toes are still pointed to the right side of the room. Bend into that right knee, you're bringing your right elbow towards your right knee as you do this, right? So we could be here. Maybe you want to take it really low. You start to lift your left toes up off the mat, maybe lift your right heel up off the mat and bring it super low. You can keep it low or you can keep it high. You're going to take your left hand, if it's down on the ground, you plant it inside, or sorry, your right hand, plant it inside your right knee. If you're up high, you're just going to plant your right hand, it's going to stay on your right knee. Your left hand is going to lift up to the sky. So taking the twist. There we go. Now, let that left hand come down either to your knee or to the floor. Right? We're going to push into that right leg, straighten out your right leg, bend back into your left knee. You're going to walk yourself back around your runner's lunge. You can let that right heel lift here, or you can keep it down, up to you. Plant your right hand on the inside of your left foot. Take your left hand up to the sky. Twisted lunge here. Towards the back of the room. Towards the back of the room. Towards the left side. Just towards the left side of the room. Around the head, towards the front of the room. Now, let that left hand come down. Turn your right toes forward. Look up. Then you're going to step with that left foot, right? With your right foot. You're going to end up in chair. You can keep your left knee bent, or you can straighten it out if you need to. Then bend both legs, knees once you get up. Peel that upper body up. Right, so we're here in chair. Keep bending the knees, sending your hips back and down. Look down, see your toes, wiggle your toes. Make sure you're in that perfect chair position. Right now we're going to stay in that chair position with our lower body. You're just going to take your fingertips, bring them behind your neck. Open those elbows up, right? That's enough of a back bend right there. You don't have to do anything else with your torso. And then from there, you're going to pull your elbows together, bow forward, so you're kind of rounding out here. Touch same elbow to same knee if you can get down that low. And then open back up. Remember, you're not straightening your legs. Legs stay in chair. Do that twice more. Pull the elbows together. Touch them to your knees as you bow forward. Rise it back up. One more time. Bring it in. And open it up. As we open all the way up here, now we're going to stand up tall. Take your arms up overhead. Right now, come to the top of your mat if you're not already. You're going to take that big step back with your right foot. You're going to bend into your left knee. Right? As you step back, your right toes turn to the right, and then your right hand comes down along your right thigh. That left hand reaches up and over. So we just step back right into reverse warrior. If it feels better, you can take your right hand and wrap it around your back. You can be looking up at your left fingertips. You can be looking down over your right shoulder, whatever feels better on your neck. Once everything else is in place, bend more deeply into your left knee. Reach further back. Create that space here. And then you're going to unwind. Both hands come overhead. Your palms come together overhead. Turn your torso back towards the front of the room. Bring your hands to heart center. Start to twist to the left. Bring that right elbow towards the left knee. Maybe it hooks over the left knee. Maybe it's just near the left knee. Maybe it rests right on the left knee. Twist as much as you can. Right? Keeping those thumbs at your heart center. So you're not just leaning. You're twisting. Right now we're going to untwist here to Sky Archer, right? So we untwist. You push that left leg all the way straight. Let your hips turn towards the right edge of your mat. Everything else stays where it is. Grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and pull towards the back of the room. So you're trying to create that space in the left side body. Now release your hands here. Bend back into your left knee. Just drop your arms long. Come right to your warrior two. Right over the middle finger on your left hand as you take that deep bend in your left knee. Torso stays right over the hips. Bring your hands back behind you, interlace them behind your back. Pull the shoulder blades together, start to press your knuckles towards the floor. Let yourself take the back bend here, right? So you're leaning back, you're looking up. Then you come up, now we're gonna bow all the way forward. Bring your left shoulder towards the inside of your left knee. crown of your head towards the floor. Again, you're not resting your left shoulder on your left knee. If it comes inside the knee, that's great. If it's just hovering above the knee, that's great. Maybe you can lift your hands up and off your low back here. If not, they're resting on your low back. And then just release your hands here. Bring them on either side of your left foot. Turn your right toes towards the front of the room. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Come back into your forward fold. Belly touching the upper thighs. Head and knee heavy and long. All right, now from here, totally your feet out wide. The edges of your mat. You're going to turn your heels in and your toes out. Bend your knees. Drop your hips. Come down. Into your Balasana squat. Now, if you have a block and you want to sit down on your block, that makes it better, right? If it's not good with or without the block, if you don't have a block and it's not good without the block, you can always come down to bend an ankle. Some of you can probably see Linda behind me, she's already doing it. Right, you draw your glutes, bring the soles of your feet together, and you're here, right? So come to bound ankle if that's comfortable to you. If you like the squat, if the squat feels good, stay right there. Wherever you are, close your eyes. Take a few breaths here, reconnect with your breath. It's like our halftime, right? We are right at about half an hour today, so it's good. Reconnect with your breath. Notice your breath again. Make sure that focus is on your breath. Make sure you still have control of your breath. Slow your breaths again. Lengthen them again. Deepen them again. Tabletop. All right, so bring yourself into tabletop. I'm going to do it sideways here. I want you guys to be able to see. So we're in this tabletop just like we were earlier, right? Shoulders right over the wrists, hips right over the knees. Now, what we're going to do first for our core work, you're going to tuck your toes. We're just going to come to that hovering tabletop. So just lift your knees about an inch off the ground, right? Your hips are still over your knees. Shoulders are still over your wrists. Core's not going to engage now. Hold you up. Just take 2 more breaths like this. And let your knees come down. Look up, right? Maybe you want to tuck your toes and shift to child's pose for a breath. We're going to come back there. Spoiler alert, right? I don't want you to take the break. And then when you're ready, come back up into your tabletop. Tuck your toes under. We're going to come back to that hover. This time, as you bring it into your hover, see if you can take your right leg and just kick it back behind you. Just hold there. 2 breaths. Bend back into your right knee. Put your toes back down so you're back in that hover. See if you can take your left leg and do the same thing. Kick it back behind you. 2 breaths. And back into that left knee. Put it back into that hover. Now drop your knees. Shift back to child's pose. All right, one more thing from the hovering tabletop. And then we'll do something else, I promise. All right, but you're going to come up into your tabletop. Tuck your toes. Hover your knees up off the mat. Now this time, you're going to take your right leg. I'm going to do my left leg first. You guys can do your right leg just because my left leg's on the camera. Lift your left knee up, right knee up, into a fire hydrant. So you're just pointing that right knee towards the right side of the room. 2 breaths here. And then drop that right knee down. Now do it the other way. The left knee. Just open it up. So left side of the room, 2 breaths. Drop those left toes. Drop your knees. And now shift back to child's pose. These were hard for me today. I never did them once. I was practicing. That's all right. When you're in a strength move, you're shaking. You see my legs shaking a little bit when I was doing those. That's a good thing, right? It means your body's working to fatigue. You're getting stronger. When we're in a stretching pose, I always tell you guys, if you're shaking, not good. in a strengthening pose. Let your body shake. All right, from here, we're gonna come forward. You're gonna come all the way to your belly. And so as we come down to our belly, right, take your ear to one side of the mat or the other. Not really all that great here. You can't remember how to do this straight ahead. It's all right. All right, so you're on your belly. Turn your ear to one side or the other. Your hands are gonna come back behind you. Right now, turn your palms face up. And then turn your palms face down, right? I'm taking mine a little bit wider just so you guys can see me on camera, right? You'll have your hands right in against your hips. And then start to lift your head and shoulders, right? Really press your palms into the mat like you're trying to push the floor towards the back of the room. And then maybe here you're gonna lift your feet. I know you can't see me lifting my feet on camera, but I am, see? Right, so you're just balancing on your belly, but your palms are down. They're pressing, making you lift a little higher. Take 2 breaths here. And let your feet come down. Let your forehead tap down. We're going to come back up into that. All right, so press your palms into the floor. Press the floor away from you. Lift everything up that's going to come up. Hold here for 2 breaths. And then let yourself come back down. Tap your forehead to the mat. Do it one more time. Press your palms into the mat. Lift everything up. And then let it all come back down. Now take your other ear, the ear you didn't start with, to the mat. Right, so you're looking that other way. Turn your palms up to the sky, so you're really letting your shoulders relax. I want you to take a couple breaths here, right? With your ear down. That way, you might feel that yoga flush, that blood rushing through your neck. If you feel that, it's normal. Just lay there till it passes. And then when you're ready here, bring your hands to your chest. You're going to push yourself all the way up, coming back up into tabletop. Right? And then as we get to tabletop, let your hips come to one side or the other. Swing your legs around in front of you. All right? We're going to go into our deer pose here. So you're here, get your feet in front of you. You want to bring that right foot to the left edge of your mat. And then lean to the right so your right knee comes all the way down to the ground. You can take that left foot, you can grab onto your left ankle if you want. You're going to swing that left knee back behind you. You want to drop that left knee to the mat, right to the inside sole of the right foot, right? So this is deer position. Now, as we get into these poses, we're going to do 2 poses with our legs in this position. You might want to let your knee come further away from your right foot. That's okay, right? You might want to let that left heel come away from your left glute. You might want to keep it tucked in against your left glute. Find the place where it's comfortable to you. Now, what we're going to do first here, you're just going to bring your hands in front of your right shin, right? So make sure your hands are in between your right ankle and your right knee, right? So you're not here with your hands on either side of your knee. Hands are in front of the shin, walk it forward. As far forward as you can. Maybe that's just an inch or 2 in front of your shin. That's all right. Some of you can drop down to your elbows, right? Maybe you can drop down to your chest here. Now, if you want to take this to full pigeon, if you know pigeon and you like it, that's an option here. You just extend your left leg long, and then you lift your right hip, press your left hip towards your right heel. Right now I'm in full pigeon. But you can also just stay in deer if that's what you're feeling today. Now we're going to stay here for a full minute. So you have plenty of time. Like I said, if you need to adjust, adjust. Doesn't matter which way you're angled. I'm adjusting myself slightly just so that I can get my left foot on my mat. Makes it more comfortable for me. You find it for you. Ready here, you're going to walk back up to your palms if you're not already, right? If you were in pigeon, let your hip come down, let your right hip come down, come back to this deer position. All right, I'm going to scoot over this way so you're able to see me, but you can stay where you are. Right? Now it doesn't matter where you're angled. You might end up with your right shin not perfectly towards the front of the mat. It might be angled slightly to the right or to the left. It doesn't matter. But what I want you to do here now is bring your hands outside your right thigh. So you want both hands in between your right knee and your right hip. Right? So again, you're here. So your chest is turning all the way towards your right thigh. Right? Even if it's not facing the right side of the room. Again, we don't want our hands on either side of the right knee. We want both hands between your right knee and your right hip. Then you're going to walk it forward here. In that twist, usually for most people, it's easier to get a little deeper in the twist than you went when we went straight ahead in the folds, right? So if you can, you drop down to your elbows. Right? Maybe you have enough flexibility that you can drop your head and your chest down to the ground. You use your blanket or your block here if you're off your mat. Place to land your arms, place to land your head. It's all good, right? And maybe you're just here, right? Maybe you came here and this is as much as you're getting, and that's okay, right? If you're feeling it in that low back, so you take the twist, even if you're up on your palms, you're getting what you need to out of the pose. If you need to go deeper before you feel it, that's when you need to let yourself go deeper. But it's not supposed to be uncomfortable, right? This should be a very comfortable pose. Hang out for the next minute, it's not a problem. Now we're going to bring ourselves back towards the front of the room. And then you're just going to lean to the right a little bit. So now you can kick that left leg in front of you, put your left foot on the ground, and then unthread your right foot. Come back to that reclined position here. Now we're going to do both those poses the other direction. Right now I'm just scooting over a little bit to the right so that when we do this whole thing, you'll be able to see my whole body. All right. So your left toes are going to come over towards the right edge of your mat. You're leaning to the left. You can lift your right hip to do that. It's okay, right? You want your left knee to come down to the ground. And you can grab onto your right ankle, or you can just move it back. You want to swing that knee back behind you so that your right knee comes to the inside of the sole of your left foot. Right now, you can move that right knee away from the left foot at any time. You can move your right heel away from your right glute at any time, or you can keep it all nice and tight in. Your comfort there, right? You can change it as we go from the fold to the twist. If you want to change that position of the right leg, do that, right? That's your adjustment leg. That's your lever. You want to keep that left leg parallel to the front of the mat as much as you can, right? If it's angled that way or that way, it's okay, right? The important thing is that when you bring your hands down, they're in front of your left shin. So if my left shin were angled, my hands might be here, and that's okay, right? Between your left ankle and your left knee. Get your hands in front of your left shin, and then just walk it forward from there. And maybe all you do is walk your hands forward a couple inches. Maybe you can bring it down to your elbows here, right? Maybe you can get all the way to your chest here. I don't think I can, I demonstrated. But you want to keep your arms, your hands in line with that left shin. So you feel that pull in your left hip. Again, if you want to make this a full pigeon, you can. You just extend your right leg behind you all the way, take that right hip, push it towards your right heel. That means your left hip, push towards your left heel. Sorry, that means your left hip lifts, and you'll start to feel that sensation more deeply in your left hip. You want to keep it in deer, keep it in deer. inside your left thigh. You want them in between your left knee and your left hip. Right, so not on either side of your left knee. And you want to take that twist, fully turn your torso towards your left thigh. Right, and then again, you're walking it out here. It's a little easier to get a little deeper. So maybe you can come down to your elbows here. Maybe you can lay your chest and your head down on the mat. You have to stay on your palms, it's okay. Just walk them as far forward as you can. Feel this as a twist through the low back. That's what we're going for here. That's what we're working. Now, when you're ready here, walk it back up. Bring yourself back around towards the front of the room. Now, you're going to lean to the left here. So you can bring that right foot in front of you. Plant that right foot on the ground. Underride your left foot. Just put your left foot on the ground. So we're doing this hook line up at the top of the mat. Just take your hands back behind you. You don't have to have your fingertips point towards your glutes. They can point to the sides. They can point back. We're just going to windshield wiper here. So bring your feet out a little wider so that your pinky toes are at the edges of your mat, like we did that twist earlier. Right, and just let your legs go from side to side here. And enjoy bring it out. Should feel good. And then when you're ready here, come to a stop with your feet on the ground and bring your feet back to hip width distance apart. You want your toes at the top of your mat. We're going to lay down on our back here, right, and do our last stretch from our back and get into our version. So take your arms out long, tuck your chin to your chest, round it on out, and lay all the way down on your back. As you get all the way down onto your back here, you're going to bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out to the sides. We're here at this reclining down ankle. We're going to stay here for a minute. Do whatever you want to do with your hands. They can rest on your belly, they can rest on your sides. If you want to open the legs more, they press against your inner thighs and your knees. If you want to open the upper body a bit, take them, reach them overhead, lengthen everything out. That's okay. Right. Now, this is mostly a stretch for your legs. If you want to feel more in your legs, pull the heels closer to your body. You want to back it off a little bit, push those heels further away. Make it comfortable to you. 40 seconds or so. 5 more breaths. Stay here for a couple more breaths, letting yourself relax into it. Too dark in my picture. Better. All right. And then when you're ready, bring your knees together. Right? Your feet are still on the ground. Take your hands to your sides, palms face down. Right, now we're going to transition here into our inversion. So we're going to start with bridge. Right? So you're walking your heels in as close to your glutes as you can get them. Maybe you can get them close enough that your fingertips are brushing the back of your heels. You're going to press into all 4 corners of your feet and lift your hips up off the mat, coming into your bridge. Okay, so you can be right here in an unsupported bridge, using the strength in your legs, push those hips higher, engage your quads, engage your glutes. If you want to, you can be in a supported bridge. If you have a block, you slide that block underneath your hips, let your hips rest on the block. Then you're using the leverage of that block to push your hips higher. If we push our hips higher, we increase the flexibility of our back. That's what we're going for. Now, you can tuck your shoulders. You should tuck your shoulders at least slightly here. Right, just work one shoulder. Yeah, they're just a little bit under your body. That puffs your chest open, lifts your hips a little higher. Right, so really getting that full opening. If you want to make this really intense in an unsupported bridge, you can work your entire shoulder one at a time underneath your body, one shoulder then the other. Clasp your hands underneath your body like I'm doing now. And it really pushes your hips higher. You can just a little bit more. That's just an option. You don't have to go there. Take 3 more breaths wherever you are. And then on your next exhale, let your hips float back down. Now, if you have that block under your hips and you want to keep it there for waterfall, you can. Right? If you're in an unsupported bridge, let your hips float down to the mat. Untuck your shoulders. Right? Get your head, your shoulders, your hips all flat to the mat. We're going to come to waterfall here. Right? So everybody's going to take their feet straight up to the sky. Flex your feet like you're going to step on the ceiling. Your feet are right over your hips. So if you have that block under your hips, create a little supported waterfall, and that's good. It makes it just slightly more intense because you've lifted your hips slightly higher. Some people find it more comfortable. If you want to do that, do that. If you're here with me with your head and shoulders all on the ground, that's perfect too. We're all sending the blood from the feet where it pools all day, taking it back to our head and our heart, and we need it more. If you want a lot more intensity and you want to take it to shoulder stand, you guys know that's always an option. That's just where you lift your hips up on your own and put your hands in the small of your back so you're supporting yourself on your shoulders and your forearms. Right, so shoulder stand, you can go there if you like it, or stay here in waterfall. Up to you. If you're in shoulder stand, toes are kind of half flexed, half pointed. If you're in waterfall, feet are fully flexed, like you're going to step on the ceiling. We're all getting the great inversion benefits. We're getting that increased circulation I talked about. We're also naturally lowering our blood pressure, flooding the body with all sorts of anti-aging, anti-stress hormones. We're resetting the circadian rhythm of our body. That's our sleep cycle. All good things happen when we get a little bit upside down. So that's why I want to do it every time we practice. At least once. Now, when you're ready to come out of this, we're all going to come out of it the same way, whatever version you're in. Right? Start to bend your knees. They're going to scrape along your face and your body as you slowly lower those feet back down to the mat. Right now, as your feet come back down to the mat, maybe you still have that block under your hips. You're going to lift your hips up. Slide that block out from underneath you here, so your hips are just flat on the mat. And you're here in your constructive rest again. We're going to come from here into happy baby. So you want your hips flat on the ground. You're going to take your feet up to the sky. You want to keep your tailbone on the mat here, right? So for a lot of people, if you really pull your feet up over your hips, it makes your tailbone lift up off the mat. So if you're angled a little bit forward here, it's okay. Separate your feet, maybe slightly, maybe a lot. Bend your knees, maybe slightly, maybe a lot. This is for your comfort, right? You're gonna reach up for your same foot with your same hand. Maybe you grab your foot, maybe you just grab your ankle or your shin or your knee. Make sure you roll forward again a little bit, just to check, make sure that tailbone's pressing into the mat. If it is, then you can rock from side to side, giving yourself a little spinal massage. You should feel good as you do the rock, right? This is our happy baby. We want it to be happy. We want it to feel happy. So if it doesn't feel good to do the rock, then don't do it. You can stay still. Maybe you want to play with your leg position here now. Maybe you want to take your legs wider or straighter or bend them more, bring them in more. Find one that just feels really delicious to you, wherever that is. And hang out there for a couple more breaths. The great thing about Happy Baby, right, is that depending on how you position your legs, you can feel that sensation, that stretch in any part of your legs. So if it's not feeling where you want it today, change it. Make the pose yours. 2 more breaths here. And eventually, we're all going to take those knees, hug them into the chest. And let's take our final twist right here. So you're going to let your arms go out long, like wings, in a T position. And as you exhale, let both knees fall over to the right. So your left knee's just stacking on top of your right. You can take your right hand, press those knees closer to the earth if you want. Right? If you have enough space to extend your legs, your toes go towards your right fingertips. They're all just options. You can stay right where you are. We just want to keep that left shoulder anchored, whatever you're doing. earlier, that's what's going to give you the twist, the anchoring of the shoulder. As you inhale, bring your knees back to center. This time as we exhale, you're going to drop your knees to the left and take your chin and your gaze to the right. Same thing here. You can make it deeper by pressing down on the feet with your left hand, or extend your legs toward your left fingertips, or just stay where you are. Keep that right shoulder anchored. We always finish off with these twists. They seal off our practice. Let our bodies remember everything we did today. So next time we come practice, it's all a little easier. Go everywhere. A little deeper. Now inhale here, bring your knees back to center. Give them that one final hug into your chest. And then we'll start to set up for our final pose, our Shavasana, right? So in your final Shavasana, your traditional Shavasana, I should say, right? Your legs are extended long, your hands are at your sides. If that's not comfortable to you, you don't have to stay there. You can always bend your knees if that's what feels good to you. Maybe you take those feet to the edges of your mat again and let your knees fall in against each other. That takes pressure off your low back. You can butterfly your legs again like we did earlier. Maybe you want to roll to your side, roll to your belly. Maybe you want to sit up. Find your spot. So remember, you're going to be perfectly comfortable. You're going to be able to stay perfectly still. And most importantly, your mind is going to be able to go perfectly quiet. Don't control your breath anymore. Release it. Allow it to start to guide you. Let your breath take you to a place. And there's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. That's always going to be your true mind. Now slowly, start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, you can take your arms overhead, do a nice full, deep body stretch. And then from there, you're just going to roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths right there, just to reacclimate. to our space. Let the sights and the sounds, and then we'll come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. Then when you're ready, hold and ready. Push yourself up to seated. And we'll close here. So let's close with our two Bhamari breaths and then an Om. Bhamari breath, we inhale, so we exhale, make that little humming sound in the back of the throat. The Om is the universal syllable, uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths, or you can just listen. But let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this morning. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. I hope you guys all have a great week. The schedule for next week should be up on the Facebook group if you need to check it out. But Liza will be here tomorrow morning for some Payo, and Heidi will be here tomorrow night for more gentle if you need that. I will see you all Wednesday night for some yin.